Okay, be it resolved, the agenda for the regular council meeting of September 27th be adopted. Mover
Henry Siemens.
and a seconder.
Marvin Bled.
Thank you. And all in favor? And that is carried. And as normally our custom, we have adopted an Indigenous land acknowledgement reading. And as the City of Winkler, we acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 1 land, the home of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that have been made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to a future based on respect of all people, including the Indigenous communities, in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration, moving forward to a harmonious and prosperous future together. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 13th, 2022 be adopted. Mover?
Don Fair.
Seconder?
Karina.
Any conversation or discussion regarding those minutes, errors, omissions? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. My mouse is working slowly.
Mine too.
Correspondence, and my computer is even slower, so. Okay. Winkler Senior Center sent some happy Thanksgiving greetings for October and also schedule for October. Any questions regarding that?
I do notice that the waffle breakfast is not listed, but I confirm they're still doing it.
Okay,
So-
Thursdays?
They're
It's
having-
Mondays.
Mondays.
The second or third Monday.
It's Thanksgiving, so there's none in October.
That's why.
Right.
Okay.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just so you know, the
They
waffles
used
are
to have
still
it
there.
every Thursday, but they're running short on volunteers,
Oh,
and that's been a bit of a challenge for them. But they're very excited to be holding the elections
live streaming.
specifically at Buhler Active Living Center.
Yeah.
They're very, very excited about that.
So that's on the advanced polls?
That's
right?
on the advanced polls.
it's great.
Not on the
It's
election
great
day
to accommodate
itself.
that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really, really well done. It's a very good newsletter.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, there's a lot of activities and a lot of, it's good to know, what's happening when, and also as far as the meals, like what kind of meals they're preparing for what days.
I'm also planning on doing the line dancing with them, just so you know.
Are you?
Once
You
I'm
would?
done on
We're
council.
coming to watch.
Yeah, no,
Can you, can you do video?
no,
Is your daughter joining you
no,
too?
no, nobody's going. Just mind your
Nobody-
business.
nobody knows it. Yeah.
Should've said
On that
nothing.
note, that's
Move on, exactly, it's over.
Okay,
You ever
we're
shouldn't
moving
play it
on
off?
to Finance Department. Be it resolved that the accounts payable in the amount of $843,822.12 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew?
And there's a check register there as well. Any questions regarding the check register? Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Resolution to transfer MI Streets and Roads to Winkler. And just maybe for a little clarification, this has been an ongoing conversation for many years already, where the province's infrastructure group has wanted us to take back some of the city streets that the province currently looks after. And we have some conditions, and I will just read the resolution. It's a little longer. Whereas the City of Winkler has interest in access control and level of service conditions on infrastructure owned by the province of Manitoba. Whereas it is the City of Winkler's understanding that there is a transfer grant to facilitate near to medium-term maintenance required once ownership is transferred. Be it resolved that City of Winkler gives notice to the province of Manitoba that there is interest in assuming ownership of the following roadways or streets. Boundary Trails, which is a service road along Highway 14. Service road along the north side of PTH 14 located between Diamond Drive and Dickens Road. And subject to condition renewal completed in 2023, Main Street, with additional consideration be given to the continued service for operations and maintenance of traffic signals located on Mountain Avenue and Roblin. Mover,
Andrew?
seconder.
Marvin.
And any further discussion regarding this resolution?
Just one question about the service road to Dickens. Is our hope that that stretch will also be paved before we get it?
That we didn't add in there, though.
That's a good question. We can look into that.
I would think if they want to hand it off to us, they should put it into the condition that allows us
Yeah.
to deal with it as a city rather than as a
Yeah.
municipality.
I agree.
Can we add that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What's that?
could we add it right now into the resolution?
As a friendly amendment,
Sure. Yeah.
assuming you accept that.
I do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Henry.
Good point.
Any further comments?
Well, what will happen to Provincial Road 673 then?
That's Main Street, right?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else knew. Main
thought
Street
that
is
is-
Provincial Road 673.
Yeah, I
No
didn't know
idea.
that before I read this either, so I just knew it was Main Street. so.
Yeah.
Well, the understanding there, I think, also is that it gets
Yes.
retrofitted to a acceptable standard because
Right.
it certainly has deteriorated beyond what we would want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
take it over as, so.
Yeah, and that's why we have the renewal
Mm-hmm.
for
Near to
23.
medium term.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Swamp meeting minutes. Be it resolved that swamp meeting minutes for September the 12th, 22 meeting be received for information. Mover,
Andrew?
seconder.
Michael?
Any comments regards to the swamp meeting? Any updates? Andrew, anything exciting happening there?
No, nothing too crazy going on there. I mean, we're taking on a little more of the True North stuff again,
Right,
which brings in some more revenue, but no, we got a few policies that are going through there, but that's just staffing
Okay.
policies that we're updating, so.
all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2289-22 be given first reading. Mover
Marvin.
and a seconder.
Karina?
Thank you. Any questions regarding the bylaw?
Maybe just a bit of help to help me
Claire.
understand that,
Clarification?
please.
Jody, maybe you
Sure,
wanna
so
help us out there?
essentially, we had two bylaws that were regulating the same streets with speeds.
Nice.
One just happened to be an older one, and it was, essentially, it's out of date because it's all covered in the main traffic and parking bylaw. So this is just simply to repeal that old one.
Okay, it's not that we can go speeding down any
No.
particular
Well,
street?
I had high hopes for a little bit.
All right. Okay, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2290-22, traffic parking bylaw given the second reading to adjust Schedule A and D. Mover,
Don?
seconder.
Michael?
Any update, anything extra needs to be said there?
No changes since first reading.
Okay. All right, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw 2290-22, traffic parking bylaw be given third reading to adjust the Schedule A and D. Mover,
Don?
seconder,
Michael?
all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that Community Services Committee minutes for the September 13th, 2022 meeting be adopted. Mover,
Andrew?
seconder.
Karina?
Any questions, comments regarding those minutes? None? All in-
Actually,
okay.
just a very quick one. See if I can quickly find it here again. The level of service piece, specifically with regard to summer staffing, is that obviously something that will have a budget piece? If I look under point 4, proposing a level of service that sees summer programming and subsequent staffing part of the department operations moving forward. Previously, that was an annual budget item. Is that right, Jody?
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a thought that we establish a level and then that becomes the starting point?
Yeah, and it would be on, it would come up, part of that would come up as our number of seasonal staff that we have for each summer season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason for the change would be,
I think that came from the department suggesting that they do a little more. One of the things that they talked about at the meeting was a camp.
It's like a
like
summer
day camp
daycare
program.
okay,
type thing, and then it wouldn't fully fund itself.
So the net,
There was potential for it to not fully fund itself.
yeah, so it nets out not very expensive. It was a couple $1,000s with the possibility that it could net to zero. But that wouldn't be anticipated in the first year or two.
It would be a really great opportunity.
Okay.
I think that we plan on speaking about it, but at mini planning a little bit more though, right?
Certainly.
That's what
Fair
I
enough.
think the intention was.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that Discovery Nature Sanctuary Committee meeting minutes for June the 21st meeting be received for information. Mover?
Henry
Marvin.
Siemens?
And Marvin seconded. And any conversation regarding those minutes?
Maybe not necessarily these minutes, but the interpretive boards that they have out now are really, really nice.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous addition.
And then the caution obviously is we've had some vandalism and
Yeah.
hopefully that those boards don't get ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part at times, but it still shouldn't stop us from doing good
Right.
things like this.
Yeah.
But it does potentially increase the future budget for maintenance.
Yep. Okay, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that Winkler Arts and Culture minutes for September 20th, 2022 meeting be received for information. Mover?
Michael?
Seconder?
I'm gonna help.
Thanks. And any questions or comments? Maybe Gwen, you want to tell us how things are going? I did this to you one other time, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You gotta come up to the mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna make her
Oh,
do that?
yes, I am.
Oh, my goodness.
No. I'm preparing.
Things are going well. I'm trying to implement more events and classes. So we've got our coffee house coming up this Friday.
Nice.
I'd like to make that a monthly thing, do coffee houses every month because they always go over really well. It's always packed and it's a good way for us to get some money from bar sales. Yeah, there'll be a few other free events coming in October and December, pumpkin carving stuff, snowman building stuff, so fun things for all
That's fun.
ages.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Well,
you.
thanks for stepping up to the plate and
Good job, kid.
doing that. Appreciate it. And now, too. Thank you. All right, all in favor? And that is carried. Winkler Arts and Culture budget, you see that one there? Oh yeah, one question I was asking, do you do the applications for funding for grants, that type of stuff? Yeah, and you've got a number of them that are,
There's some in the minutes there that they're going
Yeah.
through, but
Yep.
you got some, so, okay. Yeah, because there's been a fair amount of bigger ones that have been available recently, so.
I know I've been forwarding any that
Yeah.
that I see on the tourism side that come through. I've been forwarding them over to Gwen, and as well, she's also connected into the Central Manitoba Tourism Board, so, yeah, so
Yeah.
she's got her
Okay.
toes
Perfect.
in the water.
Good, appreciate it. Be it resolved, the Winkler Family Resource Center AGM package to be received for information. Mover?
Michael?
Seconder?
Karina?
Thank you. Any further comments regards to their Family Resource AGM?
No, they're continuing to go ahead. I think one of the big things moving forward is their partnership with Imagination Library, ensuring that they're still sustainable. I guess their volunteer base is getting a bit thinned out at this point, and they're struggling to maintain. So other than that, yeah, coming out of COVID, their preschool programs are regularly full. Plum Coulee is a huge success. They've got like waiting lists for programs there. And yeah.
Awesome.
And Sarah's done a phenomenal job stepping
Yeah,
into
the
that new
after-school
role, into that
program,
role.
Yeah, last year, 1 to 3 students depending on the day, and I think they're at 9 this school year.
It's wonderful.
So
Very
that's been a
nice.
nice addition as well.
She's doing great.
And Henry and Michael and I were at the city caucus meeting today as well in Morton, and it's 10 cities from across the province of Manitoba. And some of the stuff we have going here is absolutely phenomenal in regards to the wraparound program, regards to community resources, regards to central station, affordable housing, like all of those things that are working together very well in order to make this community a safer place. And there were a number of different communities that were very eager to hear more. And a lot of the communities obviously struggle with a lot more crime-related stuff than what we do, so. And our municipal relations minister, Eileen Clark, was at that meeting. Well, she used to be the mayor of Gladstone, but you know, we're going through some difficult times, but there's a lady who has given basically the last 15 years of her life to community as well as to the province. And being involved in politics in the province has not been easy. And so she shared with us that actually just in the last month, there was a individual arrested in Gladstone close to her place with a sawed-off shotgun, which that's a tough road to hoe for any politician. So remember, for those who pray for politicians, it goes beyond here, and it's a struggle sometimes. Okay, Winkler Arts and Culture, brush strokes for life presentation. You're on.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Nathan Clausen, and I am recently appointed as the Vice President Chair of Winkler Arts and Culture Center. And unfortunately, our President Chair, Ray Dirksen, he's away out of town for another meeting. So I have the privilege, after a week now in this position, now to present.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just on, you can pay your attention to the PowerPoint. Brush Strokes for Life is our presentation of our vision of the Winkler Arts and Culture Center. So, as on the next slide, you will see our board. We have Raymond Dirksen, myself, Michael Grenier, Valerie Clausen, Secretary, Jennifer Penner, board member, and Nora and Gwen as well. So this is our board. On the
Awesome.
next slide, studies have shown that the practice of art enhances the skills of critical thinking and empathy in people. And these are valuable skills of our complex and often polarized world, no matter what career a person enters in. And so that was something that even I spent some time researching how art actually promotes and helps people out. And empathy is definitely something we need after the COVID pandemic. We definitely need more people to be more empathetic. So art is not what you see, but what makes what you make others see. By Edgar. Yeah. Next slide. So going through this, I'll just bring it up here. Let's see if I can. All right. So the boiling pot. Next slide. So boiling pot, basically more than a building, with the Winkler Arts and Culture Center is more than a building with four walls, more than just art. It is a place for culture as well. And as our city is growing and we have multiple cultures, multiple nations coming, then people from immigrating to Winkler, we see that the Winkler Arts and Culture Center is a place that can be a hot spot for building these connections, building relationships with each other and relationships. So just reading off the screen, Winkler Arts and Culture strives to be seen and used as a place for all community to gather, share, and learn. Now, while the WAC has a focus on the arts, it is the cultural aspect of that which makes it great. So religion and sport are not enough to bring our community together. Every culture has some creative artistic offering. We know that definitely we have many churches in the area, and sports is definitely important in this area, and so is the arts, as we have quite a growing population of even young people. And I'll share a statistic later on in this presentation. So why invest in the arts? Well, when faced with the hardships in life, both as individuals and as a community, we invariably turn to the arts for comfort, for self-expression, to process difficult times, to heal and recover our hearts and spirits, to create meaning, to create purpose, to build connections with one another. And art as a process, not a product, is therapeutic for all stages of mental health support, be it recovery from illness or prevention and stress management. So creating art is a sensory and an interpretive experience, allowing us to explore our emotions and beliefs in a safe and supportive way that is meaningful and rewarding. And in fact, this week, Gateway Resources is using the WAC right now as another opportunity for adults with intellectual disabilities to process art. So another way to bring comfort
Good idea.
to our community. Next slide. So arts education. It serves to teach us about ourselves. Participating in art education serves to teach us about ourselves. It provides sense of identity, to empower us, to provide a healthy outlet for emotions, to work through personal experiences that are difficult to face in other settings, and to teach us to embrace our humanity, and to remind us that we are all connected through the creative process. And it's been great, as we heard earlier, Gwen getting art education, art classes going. I taught an art class twice this summer for the summer recreation program. So when they came to the WAC this summer for 2 days, then I was teaching that. And it's great to see these kids processing art. Next slide.
This is the next one, yeah.
Oh, yes, arts education serves to teach us again about ourselves. Our community composition includes many vulnerable persons, as I shared Gateway Resources this week, children, seniors, those with intellectual disabilities, and those struggling with serious health concerns, all for whom the arts and cultural events present a reprieve from loneliness and missed connections. And coming out of this pandemic, this is something that will be a very valuable place for people to gather if they're feeling isolated, lonely still, needing connection. In fact, on Tuesday nights, we have a drop-in center happening every Tuesday night where people can come, they can play board games, or they can sketch. So every other week, it's 1 week it's sketching, 1 week it's board game, and you get to connect with people around the area. So again, children and youth, and this is something passionate on my heart as I'm an EA at Praydale School in Schotzenfeld. And there is a fast-growing population of children and youth in the Winkler area. WAC continues to be an enriching outlet for children and youth to ignite their imagination for art, creating and showcasing their unique canvases they have created throughout the year. There is a large demographic of children, of course, in homeschool. Many families have either chosen in public school, but also many are in homeschool. And so this is an opportunity for parents with homeschooling their children to still get them involved in extracurricular activities of art. And as I said before, I have some stats about I like statistics myself, so I went on townfolio.com, which is a statistic website. And so I found out that the total population of ages 0 to 19 here in Winkler is just shy of 30% of our population. So that is, of course, growing and rising, and so another opportunity and outlet for them to have art. So we need to certainly invest in our youth, continue to do that. So when we speak of art, our natural mindset, of course, comes up with paintings on the walls, different things that we hang on the walls. But it definitely comes in different forms, from pottery, from fiber arts, even songwriting, vocal performing arts, songwriting, creative writing, poetry, storytelling. These are all art mediums that definitely can be used. The next slide. So here are the final slide, culture. And as I shared before, our community is growing with many more immigrants, many more people from across the world. And certainly needing that is, there's many job openings, and we need more people to come to our city. And so to celebrate the many cultures of our community, the Winkler Arts and Culture Center is that place to the pivot from one mainstream culture over the past 2 decades. Of course, for myself, even being moved just over a year ago to Winkler, it's a predominantly, of course, Mennonite area, but we have many more people coming from other cultures coming. And so it is a new challenge for us to find ways in which we can engage and build connections with those from different cultures. And so as the WAC, we are in an important position to lead the populace to embrace new and emerging cultures, to learn the stories of our neighbors, to embrace and welcome newcomers, and to collaborate and build a unified region. And WAC sees itself as a bridge to embrace every person and foster learning of our cultures. And just with the end of this presentation, I know we have plans to build a kitchen and a second art gallery in the WAC, because we believe we already have made conversations with regional connections to have the potential of having different cultures come in monthly and promoting their foods. So having a kitchen would be very beneficial to building those connections so people can come, taste different foods, enjoy different sorts of dances or traditions that people from Southern Asia or from Africa or wherever they come from. We can definitely enjoy that and build that community. So those are the plans, and I just want to say thank you, City Council, for your support in the past, your financial support, and just your encouragement, and look forward to working with you throughout the coming months and years ahead.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for that presentation. I just also wanted to remind you that we should also not forget our own Indigenous population that is right here around us. They need to be incorporated into this as well. And they, of all people, I think, feel the sense of loneliness and exclusion so much that, and they have so much to offer. You know, when you talk about foods or when you talk about, you know, arts or culture, just encourage you to include them as well.
Absolutely.
The other one, we used to have a couple that lived in Chancellorville actually, but Mark Yusurovich. Mark Yusurovich is an Israeli individual, and he had a number of other people that lived here. And he came back to Winkler this week to see me, and we chatted a little bit. And he creates guitars, and we're talking about art. And he was saying that creating a guitar in his world was an art. And he was telling me about one particular guitar that he had started making, and it was hanging on the wall. And he said, without inspiration, I cannot create a guitar. And I was thinking of arts, you know, without inspiration, it becomes just another picture. But with an inspiration and a story behind that piece of art, certainly is something that I think is admired and valued, and it's a character building. So
Yeah.
thanks for allowing people to do that, and just another story.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for listening, and again, just looking forward to the plans that we have to build and to keep growing this community and finding connections.
Great.
Mhm.
Thanks
you.
for coming. Thanks for making the presentation. You did well. Okay, the next item on the agenda is actually an in-camera session. We're a presentation for Boundary Trails Health Foundation. So I think we go to the adjournment, right, and they go to in-camera? or-
Yeah, we should just recess. We probably
Recess,
should have had
okay.
it in there.
Okay,
Here,
okay, so therefore be it resolved, this regular council be recessed
for an in-camera
for
session.
in-camera session. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder?
Michael.
Okay, Michael, you haven't been on the agenda yet, so
Sure I
we'll take
Yeah,
you this
you
time.
have.
Oh, yeah, yes.
All in favor? And that's carried.